Good evening, everyone. The lecture topic I have chosen is Russia-Ukraine crisis. So, firstly, I am going to tell you about the history of Russia-Ukraine, then the current scenario of ongoing crisis, its impact on world and India, then my conclusion and way forward. So, both Russia and Ukraine were part of Soviet Union, and after 1991, Ukraine declared itself independent country. And despite they both share a deep social and cultural ties, the tensions between Russia and Ukraine begins in 2013. And then in 2014, Russia invades Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine, which Ukraine condemns and considered it as a part of international violation. And United Nations also supports in this, but Russia defends itself by giving the example of referendum where the people of Crimea have voted in favor of Russia, which Russia claimed. And then from 2014, the eastern part of Ukraine, the Donbas region, was occupied by the pro-Russian separatist group. Now coming to the current scenario of Russia and Ukraine crisis. So right now, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine on its peak, and according to reports, Russia has deployed more than 1 lakh soldiers near the Ukraine border, and which is the highest military deployment after the World War II. So United States, India and Japan and many other countries have asked their citizens to leave Ukraine and also started evacuating their embassy from Ukraine. So the main reason behind this crisis is, the first is annexation of Crimean Peninsula in 2014, then the pro-Russian separatist group in Donbas region, then the importance of Black Sea and the NATO membership to Ukraine. Since Russia has declared the NATO membership to Ukraine as a red line, since Russia is already surrounded by many NATO countries like the Baltic countries, and also the Black Sea, which is surrounded by 6 countries, among which 4 countries are NATO countries, and Russian Ukraine is not a NATO country till now. So Russia has declared Ukraine as a red line. Now coming to its impact on world and India, like if Russia invades Ukraine, then USA will put many sanctions of Russia, and Russia will have to face many dire consequences, like in SWIFT global payment system or in Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which is a multi-billionaire project. And oil and energy prices will also rise. Many European countries which are dependent on Russia for its energy demands will have to find an alternative for it. There will be also food crisis. Since we all know Ukraine and Russia both are the major producer of wheat and corn, and also one of the major exporter of this. So there will be a food crisis for sure. So how does it impact on India? So for India, it's more like not Russia and Ukraine, but it's more like the Russia and West. Since for India both Russia and West both are important. And if Russia invades Ukraine, then USA and United Nations will put sanctions on Russia, and then Russia will have to go with China, and which is not good for India. And Russia is also a major defense partner of India. And India, if Russia invades Ukraine, then USA will put many other sanctions of Russia, including the defense sanctions on defense sector. Then India will have to face sanctions on further purchase of S-400 missile systems or any other defense system from Russia. So for India, need the constructive diplomacy is the need of the hour. Since India has remained neutral when Russia strategically invaded Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine, and India has also abstained from voting at United Nations Security Council in February 2022. So now coming to the conclusion and way forward. So simply the whole crisis is the tensions between Russia and Ukraine, the border dispute in which Russia does not want the influence of West on Ukraine, as simple as that. And The only way forward is to seek for a peaceful resolution. There is a need of better platform, like there were Minsk agreement between Russia, Ukraine and OSCE, but because of many ceasefire violation they get failed. So there is a need of better platform, and only with general agreement the Russia Ukraine crisis can de-escalate. Thank you.